Hey, this is Donnie Smith. Have you ever had a bumper cover, a plastic bumper cover, have a tab broke? Maybe you're using a little accident and it broke the tab all the way off or cracked it. If you ever had that happen, these tabs are critical because this is what attaches to the car and holds the bumper cover in place. And perhaps that's the only thing that's wrong with the car is that tab. Well, if you ever had that problem, keep watching this video because I'm going to show you just a few quick, easy steps of how you can repair that tab. And it'll be just like it was before. Now I just cut the end piece of a bumper cover off to make it easier to demonstrate to you how to fix it. You know, it's a smaller piece and easier to be able to demonstrate. What this is a rear bumper cover. The quarter panel goes right here. And I'm going to demonstrate, if one of these break, how to repair that. All bumper covers have tabs around them that hold them, that attach them to the car. And you can see there's different shapes and different sizes. Every car has different ones, but they do all have some type of tab that holds it onto the car. And of course, all these are good right now, but we're going to cut one just so we can show you how to properly repair it. I'm going to demonstrate how to do that on that bumper cover, and I'm going to show you how, but first I just want to talk about a few important steps so that you understand this. Let's say I'm going to kind of draw a side view of a bumper cover here. Let's just say it's a back bumper cover, and that's the part you see. And then right here, you know, you'd see the quarter panel or whatever it's attached to. Well, these bumpers usually have tabs on them that come out, and that's what attaches to the car and holds the bumper cover on. Well, like I just mentioned, a lot of times these tabs will they'll get broke off, or sometimes they get broke completely off. But what I want to focus on is this part right here, because it's very critical that you get it right before you start trying to repair this. So here's this tab right here, and I'm just going to draw it over here, and I'm going to magnify it a little bit. So this is the tab right here. Let's say it gets broke right here, and it gets broke off. Now you just have that much. Well, it's very important to grind this to a point. So you want to grind all this off so that you kind of build a point on that. So instead of just having a tab sticking out here, now you've got a tab that's kind of pointed. And it gets thinner at the end. So it's going to be thicker towards the bumper and get thinner towards the end. And what this does, whenever we put our plastic repair on here, it's going to fit on there kind of like a glove. If you think of it like this, we're building something that's thick and gets thinner. And what this does is just builds like a little glove for it to go onto and for it to latch to so that it holds good. So it's important to make that point on there. And I'll demonstrate here in just a minute how to do that. But remember that that is important to do that. And another thing to keep in mind, if you was going to, let's say, just lay a piece of plastic up here to extend, let's say the tab's supposed to come to about right here, and you laid a piece of plastic on top, how would you hold that together? Well, you'd probably put some screws in it to hold it together. And that's another important point. Now, we're not going to use screws, but what we are going to do is we're going to drill some holes in this. Remember, we have it kind of tapered out a little bit, and we're going to drill some holes through this so that whenever that glove goes on there, it's going to be like a screw of that adhesive going from one side to the other where it really latches on. It's almost like it's riveted or screwed on with the adhesive. So we got those holes on. Now whenever we put this adhesive on here, this adhesive is going to go through these holes and grab on. So now not only do you have the glove, but you actually have the adhesive rivets that go through the holes as well to hold that together. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do it. I want to talk about those two because those are very important not to forget whenever you're doing this. You just don't want to rough this surface up. You actually want to make that point. Now you can see that the cars have different tabs and they're different sizes, shapes. This one has a hole through it. This one has a slot. And it really doesn't matter because it's very easy to repair the tab no matter what the shape is. However, this one, all the tabs are fine, but I'm going to cut this one just to demonstrate. So I'm going to cut it off right here. So now this is what you get many times if you got a tab that you can not be able to bolt that onto the car or clip it or whatever, however it's attached. And this piece is broke off during the accident. Sometimes it may just be a crack, but even if it was broke up here, you can still use this method to fix it. Now the first step you want to do is make sure you wash it with soap and water, make sure it's clean, you get all the contaminants off. Now I've already done that. And next we're going to grind it with some 50 grit on a Roloc disc. Now a cordless drill, that works probably as good as any other tool for plastic repair because you do not want a fast RPM. In fact, the slower the better. If you try to grind this fast, you're just going to melt the plastic. It's going to make a mess. So if you are using air tools, be sure to crank it way down. Just going to kind of use a rubber block to support it. Okay, now you can see how thin it is in front, and as it goes back it gets thicker. So thin up here, it gets thicker, and that's going to allow this adhesive to grab onto it like we was talking about and fit like a glove. But before we do that, we want to drill the holes. Now I'm using my cordless drill again. I got an 1/8 inch bit in here, and I'm just going to drill a few holes to allow that adhesive to go from one side to the other side to make that self-rivet. Okay, now just to make sure we got everything, if there's any loose pieces on there you want to get them off, so I've just got some 80 grit by hand, and I'm just going to sand this to make sure all that's off of there. Okay, I've got that sanded off, and at this point you don't want to use any type of cleaners to clean that. A lot of these chemicals will absorb into that plastic and cause problems later. So if you got compressed air, blow it off. I don't have any. I'm going to get a rag and kind of wipe it off real good. Now this is just a dry rag. Again, you don't want to use any type of solvents to clean that. One more important step in working with plastics is you always want to use adhesion promoters. It's used on most types of plastic. If you don't use it, you're not going to get the proper adhesion. Now to apply this, I don't want to put it on real thick. I just kind of want to dust a light coat on there and then allow it to dry for 5 to 10 minutes. Now you're going to need the super fast adhesive, and this stuff dries really fast. It has a chemical reaction, and once mixed together this stuff gets really hot. The hotter something gets when it's mixed together, the faster it's going to cure. This stuff's really fast. You only got about 30 seconds to work it. Okay, now we allow that to dry and it's ready to apply this adhesive. Now you want to have everything ready whenever you start working this because you don't have long. So what I have is the cartridge and the gun. I have the tube to put it on. I have some plastic to use, and just the wrapper that this comes in works good for this. Cut a piece of that off. I have 2 spreaders and something to cut with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this end off. And you always want to make sure to squeeze a little bit through this tube to make sure both parts are coming out. We're going to purge this tube. And we'll need this cap to put around this tip. Go ahead and get that ready. Like I said, I'm just going to squeeze a little bit out here. Make sure it's coming out right. Okay. All sides are coming out fine. Now I want to put this tip on. Now I'm going to place one spreader underneath this plastic, and I'm going to hold it up under here to help support it. Now I'm going to put some of this plastic repair on this. Get ready to support. Now I want this plastic repair to reach up like that glove and grab over on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to start up here. Make sure it's coming out. Make sure I got it enough on. Don't worry about getting too much because you can grind this off. Okay, now I'm going to push that up on the back side and see how that's coming through. But I've got to hurry because I only got a couple minutes. Well, just a couple seconds really. So now I'm going to fold this over and I'm going to kind of push it with my hands a little bit to kind of get it started. Then I'm going to use a spreader just to kind of set it. Now you don't want to push too hard to make it too thin, but you kind of want to get the shape that you need, the thickness. Now I only have to hold this for a little bit, about 30 seconds, then I can let go, then allow it to finish drying. So now you can see that this plastic repair, it's on top of this tab and on the bottom, and it's went through those holes, so it's really acting like that glove, and it's going through the holes acting like rivets, and basically becoming one piece. Be careful with this because this stuff gets super hot. I like to wear gloves, but it gets really hot because it dries really fast. So before this fully cures, you can cut this. If you don't get it cut in time, don't worry, because you can still grind it even after it's fully hard, fully cured. I'm going to cut it just a little bit bigger than the tab. And this will save some grinding. So now we've got this piece, and if you remember, if you have a problem knowing what size the tab is, these are different, but on the other side of the bumper there's one identical to this, and you can look at that and get the size you're needing. You can see the part of the holes here, so you have a pretty good idea. I'm going to go ahead and trim it just a little bit this way. Now we've got it cut, we're going to let it finish curing up for a little bit. Okay, now that we let it dry, I'm going to go ahead and remove this plastic. Stay up there. These other pieces will come off. That's where I cut the piece down here. That plastic comes off. So now you've got a tab repair, and it's still a little bit bigger, and we're going to grind it to make it the exact same size. Now you want to leave it like that glove. You want it to go over just a little bit, so I'm going to leave a little bit on top, not enough to cause any alignment problem. The top surface is what clips to the car, so that needs to be pretty level. Now I'll leave a little bit extra on the bottom. Get a little better look at that before I actually start grinding it off. You can see it's pretty thick at the bottom, and that's good. You want about the same thickness. Okay, now we allow it to harden up a little bit. Now we can go ahead and grind it. Now I've got the right shape. I can use some 80 grit by hand just to kind of finish it out. Then you want to get a bit about the size of the hole that originally was, then you will go ahead and drill the hole back in it. Now you have a tab with a hole in it. that you can use with a clip or a bolt or however it's attached, attach it back to the car when you go to put it on. And this is as strong as it ever was originally. You could from this point, if you wanted to, go ahead and use some 180, sand it out, prime it, and block it a little bit and paint it. If you're just painting the rest of the bumper cover, you can just go ahead and paint that at the same time. And that's how you properly repair a tab with just a few simple steps. If you like this video, be sure to share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time. Fourth and seats, this adjusts how far back you can pull the trigger.